Well, y'all, I'm back here with yet another pedal review, again from LEKATO Music, and this time it's another mini pedal. And just like I said in last week's video, this is a compressor pedal. And the reason I wanted to try out a compressor pedal is I'm not used to using them. Sometimes I throw them on in a plug-in, for instance, but I never use them with a real amp like I am today. And until a couple of weeks ago, I didn't even really understand how to use a compressor pedal. So if you're in that same boat or you just want to know what this sounds like, then stick around. Timestamps are down below if you want to skip straight to the guitar tones, but we're going to learn a little bit about how to use this today. So just like last time, it comes in a really simple little box. It shipped to me really quickly too. But inside we have the pedal itself. We have a couple of pieces of Velcro as well, which is great for sticking it on your pedal board, which is directly where it's going to go for me. Let's see if I can rip this open. Just like with the B breaker pedal, this looks to be a pretty simple pedal. So you've got three different knobs on here. You've got a sustain, a level, an attack, an input and output, and then your foot switch. Looks like it does run on a 9-volt power supply. This is not battery operated, so don't be trying to put a battery inside of here. You're going to be disappointed if you do. So this is the R-Comp from LEKATO. This is a really tiny little compressor pedal, which is great. It'll fit on whatever pedal board you might be trying to stick it on. You can stick it on there sideways or whatever way that'll fit for you. But until a few weeks ago, like I said, I didn't really understand what compressor pedals were, how they worked, and what they did to the guitar tone. So let's go over a few of these features on here. Essentially, we start out with the sustain knob on here. And what a sustain knob does on a compressor pedal is allows you to control how long a note can last. So for instance, if you're holding onto a note, the sustain of that note, it'll last a lot longer depending on how far up you have this knob. And conversely, if you don't need notes to last as long, you can bring that sustain down, which will also affect some of the noise levels that you'll hear later on in the tone test. Now, the attack knob is how quickly the compression reacts to your... Whoa, wasn't expecting that to fall. Now, the attack knob is how fast the compression affects the guitar signal itself. So a really fast attack is going to really clamp down on things like your pick attack, and it's going to make it way more smooth and evened out, but at the detriment of your pick attack. So for instance, if you're doing some heavy palm mutes and you really like that scratchy attack to them, you're not going to want to have that attack very fast. Conversely, if we have a slow attack on here, it's really going to accentuate and bring out that attack before it clamps down with the compression, which allows you to really hear that attack a lot more, which is great for pick attack for things like soloing and leads, especially for legato runs, because it'll really help accentuate that hammer-on of your fingers hitting the fretboard. And lastly, we have the level knob here. The level knob allows you to control how much volume is then coming back out of the pedal, because when you're using compression, you're evening out the signal. So you're making the loud sounds quieter and you're making the quieter sounds louder. And that's why compression is great, is because it helps you to even out that signal in a guitar, in vocals, in bass especially, drums even. But obviously if we're bringing that signal level down too much, we need to add some back so that way it hits the amp correctly, hits your overdrive pedal correctly, so on and so forth. And because of that, as you'll see in the tone test later, you're actually able to use compressors as kind of like, I guess you can say, a clean boost. Let me know if I'm wrong there, but I noticed when I crank the level on here, it's actually hitting the amp just like an overdrive would, which depending on your use case means you may not need an overdrive at all. I know that's sacrilege to say, and I live and die by my opaque drive on my pedal board, but I mean, you could definitely get away without an overdrive because of a compression pedal. So some use cases of a compression pedal. One of the easiest ways that I can think of to use a compression pedal is to tighten up like a clean intro to a song. Imagine you're arpeggiating some chords, right? And it sounds like this. And then you turn on the compression pedal and then it sounds like this all of a sudden. You're getting more articulation, your notes are coming out clearer and more defined. Now another use case is adding sustain to notes on clean tones, but especially in lead tones. When you play a sustained note and you're just going through the amp itself, this is what it's going to sound like. And then once you click on a compression pedal, this is what it'll sound like. Now, obviously, as we sweep through the range of the sustain knob, you're going to get different effects and varying amounts of sustain and obviously signal noise as well. I don't have a noise gate running here, and that's why y'all are hearing some signal noise in that. Now, you can also use this to get some more consistency out of palm mutes, and I don't necessarily mean chugging palm mutes, but it does help with that as well, and it does help to accentuate some of the pick attack. I don't personally play with a compression pedal turned on for things like chuggy riffs and things of that sort. I use my overdrive pedal for that, which overdrives are compressing a little bit usually as well, so I steer away from it, but this is how it would sound if you did. Lastly, I do want to highlight how this can be used for improved note definition for faster runs, or faster runs in my case here. I'm not a great lead player, not yet. I'm practicing, I'm putting in the work, so don't come at me right now. But when you're playing things like legato runs or sweep picking patterns and things of that sort, it can really help to bring out those quieter notes that might have come from a hammer-on or from a slide, and have them really be accentuated in the mix or live for that matter when you're playing, so that way everybody can hear it the way it was meant to be heard. So in short, and yes, I know that was a long-winded explanation of the compressor pedal, but a compressor pedal really just helps you even out your dynamics in your guitar playing. That way everything can be heard when it's supposed to be heard. That can also accentuate things you don't want to be heard. So this doesn't make you a better player, doesn't make you sound better, doesn't make you a cheater, because it'll accentuate the bad stuff as well. Just like a delay will, let you hear your messed up guitar note for the rest of eternity. This will really bring out those messed up guitar notes as well. So use it to taste and dial it in based on your exact guitar tone and the amp that you're using and what you're trying to accomplish for that riff, for that song, for that sound. But don't be afraid of it because you don't understand it. That was my mistake for the longest time, and thankfully I got past that, and now I'm diving headfirst into compressor pedals. I've got more on the way so that I can try them out and see all the different flavors that I'm able to get out of it. But if there are any specific compressor pedals y'all would like to see me try out, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see if I can swing it. I'm not really employed right now, so we'll see if I can afford that. But this is available at the link in my description. That is an affiliate link, and that will help me to keep making videos like this and try to do music full time. So this is allowing me to write my own music and start releasing music on streaming platforms with my band, and I'm really stoked to be here. So thank you all that are actually watching these videos. Please like, please subscribe, and let me know what you want to see from me next. Peace out, y'all.